Have you heard a good book today? Magic Media shows the way. Come along, listen and look to a Magic Media talking book. Turn a page and hear the band. You're in Magic Media land, where you hear the children say,
"Have you heard a good book today?"
Hi, boys and girls. This is Mr. Magic. All ready to enjoy your Magic Media talking story? Just follow along in your book with the storyteller, and when you hear this signal, turn the page. Now, let's begin.
This is the story of Little Red Riding Hood. A little girl lived in a house near a big woods. Her grandmother gave her a handsome cape and hood for her birthday. She looked so pretty in it and wore it so often that everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. She liked to visit her grandmother who lived in the middle of the woods. One day, her mother said,
"Grandmother is ill. Please take this basket of food to her. But remember, you are not to stray from the path in the woods." "I won't,"
promised Red Riding Hood as she gaily started out.
it's a lovely day, Red Riding Hood, to bring treats to Grandma in the wood. Take care as you go on your way, that you get where you're going without delay. If you go from the path on a spree, there's a chance someone's lunch you could be. So Red Riding Hood, please go with care. You never can tell what might be out there.
Pretty flowers grew along the path.
"I'll take some to Grandmother," thought Red Riding Hood.
As she picked the flowers, she went farther and farther from the path in the woods. She forgot her promise. Suddenly, she heard a deep, gruff voice.
"Where are you going, little girl?"
Red Riding Hood looked up and saw a big wolf.
"I'm taking some food to Grandmother, who lives in the woods."
"What a nice thing to do," said the wolf kindly.
The wolf ran off into the woods and went straight to Grandmother's house. He knocked on the door. Grandmother answered.
"Who's there?"
The wolf imitated Red Riding Hood's voice.
"Grandmother, it's me, Red Riding Hood."
"I can't leave my bed, so just lift the latch and walk in."
The wolf opened the door. He ran to poor Grandmother and locked her in the closet. Then the wicked wolf dressed in Grandmother's clothes and put her nightcap on his ugly head. He climbed into the bed and waited. Soon he heard a knock at the door.
"Who's there?"
said the wolf, trying to sound like Grandmother.
"It's Red Riding Hood. I brought you something good to eat."
"Lift up the latch, my dear, and walk in," the wolf replied.
Red Riding Hood opened the door and stepped inside. She walked over to Grandmother's bed. Grandmother looked strange, very strange. In fact, Red Riding Hood hardly recognized her at all.
What big eyes you have, Grandmother.
The better to see you with, my dear.
But what big ears you have, Grandmother.
The better to hear you with, my dear.
But what big teeth you have, Grandmother.
The better to eat you with.
With those words, the wolf jumped out of bed and ran towards the little girl. Red Riding Hood was terribly frightened. She dashed to the door, but the wolf was close behind her. Just as the wolf was about to grab her, he tripped on the long gown that he was wearing and fell kerplunk on the floor. Red Riding Hood ran out of the door and into the woods as fast as her little legs would carry her. She ran and ran until she could go no further. Then she sat on a tree stump and started to cry. Before long, a friendly woodcutter came by and asked her what was the matter. Red Riding Hood told the woodcutter about the wicked wolf. Together they hurried back to Grandmother's house. They lifted the latch and walked in. The wolf was still lying, half dazed upon the floor. The woodcutter yelled at the wolf.
You ugly beast! I've caught you at last.
The wolf sprang from the floor and tried to run away, but the woodcutter was too fast for him. He grabbed the wolf around the throat and punched him hard in the nose.
Now get out of here and never come back.
The wolf ran out of the house and into the woods, and no one ever saw him again. Just then, the woodcutter heard someone knocking at the closet door. He opened it, and there was poor Grandmother. She was frightened, but unharmed. So Grandmother, the woodcutter, and Red Riding Hood danced with joy because the wicked wolf was gone forever. Red Riding Hood said,
I have learned a valuable lesson that I shall never forget. I will always do as Mother says, and I'll never break a promise again.
It's a better day, Red Riding Hood.
It's a better day, Red Riding Hood.
You have learned to do just what you should. And your mom, who tells you what to do, really knows how it goes a lot better than you. And you're free now to run along, 'cause the wicked old wolf is gone. If you do what is right, you will surely see it's not all that hard to live happily.